Welcome back. This is the new method in the ES 2020, which is at method. Let's now look at it now. So let's start by creating some dummy array here. Let's just say constant array equals to, we'll just set some random number we'll just take. So 23, 11, like 64. Okay. And let's now say we want to take the first element out of this array. And how do we do this? uh, we'll just simply do that by using the array of 0, right? So as you can see here, we just remove the first element, right? So because array is a 0 based, which is a 0 1 2 3, right? So 0 1 2. Okay. And also we can use call this in a similar way, which is by using the at method, which is very easy. As you can see here we haven't used any square brackets here. So the new at method, so very simple, right? So basically we can now replace the traditional bracket notation with the more modern looking at method. If we prefer to use array methods like this, maybe this doesn't look at all too useful. So what's big deal here is we can actually, there is one particular of at method which makes it quite useful to use. Instead of the brackets notations, let's just now say that we wanted to get the last element of the array. Now suppose that we don't know the length of an array, so how do we write the code then? So in order to get the last element, let's just say array of array dot length -1. So when we run this here, as you can see here, 64, which we got from our last element of the array. So the last position is here the 2, because the array is the 0 based. So whenever we want to get the last element of array, we always have to subtract 1 minus the length of the array. So that is the common solution in JavaScript, but there is another way as well using the slice method. So let me just write that here. So console.log array dot slice of -1. As you can see here, we got our output here. So here we got the copy of the array of the last element. So of course we want the value. We need to take the value out of the first by doing the square brackets. So how do we do that? We'll just say console.log -1, and then here we'll just say 0. As you can see here, it got out of the array. So here we got the last element by using the slice. So these two methods are more traditional way of solving the problem of getting the last element. So however, this at method makes it even more easier. So let me just show you here that. So console.log array.at, which is basically the last element we are just calling here, right? So as you can see here, we got our output here. So this -1 negative index, just like the slice, starts counting from the right side from the end of the array. So this is how the at works as well like slice. Now the question is, should you use the at method or should you keep using the bracket notation? Well, as it depends. So if you want to get the last element of an array or basically start counting it from the end of an array, and then you should probably start using the at method. Also, if you want to do something called method chaining, well, we'll talk about that later in this session, but the at method is also perfect for that. So basically combining multiple methods all at the same time, then it's quite useful to use the at method instead of bracket notation. Now on the other hand, if you quickly want to get a value from an array, so just like the first element, then of course you can keep using this brackets notation. And personally, I also do that all the time. I also wanted to let you know that at method works on strings as well. So let me just show you that here in the console. So console.log, here we'll just say Lohit dot at of 0. If I say this, as you can see here, it is just calling the first one. Similarly, you can just check for here the negative value, which is the last also, h. So this works on the strings as well. So that's it for this video.